Two huge names in Counter-Strike have tripped and stumbled in their first best of one. Now they stand against each other. Two titans going to be butting heads in just one map, and the loser of which will end 0-2. I'm joined by Freiburg and Sponge once more, and you can see the odds for this one are going to be eternally difficult to balance. Betway have, however, given SK quite the edge, as you can understand with their recent form. SK have been just dominant, best team in the world due to what we've seen from them as of late. Of course, Astralis going to be looking to take that. Not in Cologne, though. Dane's not present. But SKVP, what's the crowd saying? Yeah, about a 60-40. That seems to be pretty typical. There's still plenty of VP fans out there.
Yeah.
Gents, where do we start this discussion? It does seem like SK is going to be our first port of call just because there were nodding heads, as we said, one of, if not the best team in the world. Chad, I want to start with you on the end there.
Sure.
SK, the Brazilians, two trophies of the last two events they've attended, looking to make it 3, if not 4, into Krakow. Who, if anyone, is going to be able to stop these boys?
They're on a bit of a roll. And Space Soldiers, apparently, you know, are the ones who have put a stop to them so far today. But the most interesting thing I think about SK going in, I touched on it earlier, is I think they play some of the best theory Counter-Strike in the whole world, right? The way that they adapt to situations, the fact that they've sat down and they've gone over it appears like every situation and how to react as a team. And then when you have flashy plays like that, the Fallen, you know, Fur, Coldzera, even Phelps now, Taco doing his job as a very solid role player. These guys, they're the whole package. And I was really impressed that they were able to reinvent themselves with Phelps. I didn't think the way that the team was going to work because FNX was such a passive player when he was in the squad. I didn't think the balance would have been there. But they've been able to find that. They've been showing a strong summer so far.
Sure.
And I think, you know, they're in a good place to carry that through. It's just crazy to see them going up now against, you know, VP.
It is scary, absolutely. Now, I mean, this is where I get the fun opportunity to ask you, do different teams feel different when you're playing against them in the server? As in, do you have like that feeling like, oh god, it's SK again? Or is it more of just a case of they have a very good, firm understanding and grasp of how to play this game?
I mean, sure, when you play a team, you kind of know what they like to do. You know if it's a team with a lot of confidence. Like, for example, playing against Fur can be a nightmare, right?
How so?
I mean, this guy, he can just ruin like T-halves for teams, right? A CT, he pushing up. You see him in Pop Dog on train,
right?
Just pushing up the ladder with MP9. You're like, hello? What's happening?
Could you stop, please?
Yeah, I mean, and I remember just playing against Fur. He's probably one of the most annoying players to play against. And you have players like Coldzera, Fallen, Taco, even Phelps has been getting really good on the roster now the past couple of months. And I mean, yeah, a team like SK in this current form should be a team to fear when you join the server.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And actually what's interesting is as you're talking about Fur, another name springs to mind. I don't know if it was you, Chad, but someone was talking about how Snax has been considered one of the most irritating players to play against. Just in a 1v1, in a server, this man, hailing from Poland, really can get under your skin.
Adam said it earlier in the green room, like that he's a magnet for smokes. My term is he's a moth, and the smoke is the flame, and they're always going to it. That's how I call a lot of puggy players in Australia. We call them moths, right? Because they're always loving and gravitating towards those smokes. And he's prolific at being able to play around that. You got his name up the top, and I think he might have a little apprentice out there called Stewie. Yeah. But Snax in that regard, he's just so dynamic in his approach to the game, and he's very cerebral when you see him playing clutch situations. He's always making the right, or making you make a mistake, which is a difficult thing to do as a player clutching. But he definitely has his routines. He definitely has things that he likes to do. Like on Cobble, there's probably some ones you can grab some good examples. He's almost the king of drop zone, the king of banana, but he's fantastic at grabbing the drop zone area of the map and controlling that. And then on the CT side, the A-Long, you see him with the shotgun, you see him with the AWP, always menacing in those positions. And I can't imagine, like I didn't get to play against them very often, but you know, if you're going up against these guys on a regular basis, it's like, it's so difficult to try and counter a play like that. I don't know how you guys would have done it.
I mean, I just can't remember how many times we've tried to go A-long against Snax, and we know they have low money, but they have a Mag 7, right? And we just, okay. Oh. We died 3. All right.
No, you know it's coming. There is an acknowledgement. You know what he's doing.
I mean, Snax, he's a world-class player. He's one of the best players in the world when he gets his game going. I mean, he's been MVP this year at Las Vegas when they won.
And E-League Season 1 as well. 2 MVPs this year.
Yeah, and I mean, a player. Yeah, like Snax, he could just pop up from nowhere, right? He could just like literally come on maybe against SK this time. We'll see, like this game. But he's a player that can just win games for VP.
Yeah, he's scary. And of course, we're talking about Cobb. We don't actually know where we're taking this one yet. I want to rush through this veto so we can get some understanding of where this one is going to be going. Of course, SKVP, though, yes, SK's form has been fantastic. You heard it from Taz himself. They don't know if they're going to be going out in groups or if they'll be lifting that trophy. It's just how VP rolls. And when you put these two names next to each other, sometimes you do get something spicy.
The only map that you would have said that VP are better than SK on is Nuke, on paper, right? Obviously, we haven't seen them play just yet, but you would be saying that it would have been Nuke, and that's gone straight away. To end on Mirage, this is actually very interesting because we just saw how strat-heavy that VP wanted to be on Cobble earlier. You could do a lot of executes like that and set the pace and then be a lot more free-flowing. I think Cobble you can feel a bit more restricted, so this could be good for VP if they're going to throw out some fun new executes. Something which they can take advantage of as well is the way that Phelps and Fur play A. They play so close to A ramp, so close to the balcony that if they don't get their multi-frags when you execute or you come out, it makes it so difficult for Fallen, Cold Zero, and Taco on that retake because their way of stopping the attack is stopping you in the choke point. It's not like they play the bomb site and allow their other players to come in and set up really good crossfires. They just want to take the jewel. So if VP know how to isolate them, that could be really effective.
Something to keep our eye on. Is there any other kind of win conditions for Virtus Pro? What do VP need to have running on full force in order to take a win here?
I think they need a strong CT half because I mean as T side we can see the plow going as we used to say. So I think if they would start CT, we know later on about if they have a knife round, but I mean when they're playing CT, they need to get their game going. They need to be aggressive because VP they're not the team that should be sitting back and just waiting for their opponents to hit them. They should be the team that's controlling the tempo in the game, right? So I'm hoping for VP to like just go into the game and just show some like balls, yeah.
I felt
first
like
day on stream, I'm saying.
Yeah, I know.
Right?
You see, you can see he had balls in his mind. He just didn't put balls in his mouth. I had to help him out.
Thank you, Alex. But yeah, they do. So I'm hoping the VP will do that coming in against a team like SK, because SK they're a team that they're gonna run them over if they don't, right? So yeah, I'm hoping VP would start CT, and I'm hoping they would start off by being aggressive at CT.
Okay. Aggressive defensive side from VP. It sounds like an oxymoron. I promise it isn't. And outside of that, of course, SK are undoubted favorites in this one. There's no point doing predictions, Chad, but there is a reason that this is one of the maps that not only did they forge that dynasty with almost an entirely different roster at this point in time when they were Kaboom, but now it is a map that to be feared versus SK, as if there isn't a map to be feared.
Yeah, but you know, even though we are saying that's the case, they did have some really good results in that while they were coming up. VP were almost the originals on this map, right?
Yeah.
They were the ones who were basically teaching the rest of the world how to play this map, how to get mid control and where to go from there. So I think SK's is probably closer to the way VP used to play it when they would get a lot of mid control and go from there. Getting Phelps in window every time is very important, I think, for the T side of SK. So once again, we are going to say SK are the favourites here because we don't know what VP can bring to the situation.
Yeah, and I mean, it does sound like we've got a bit of additional time as the players do head into that server, which means we can kind of explore the Mirage SK-VP discussion with a little less haste, which is actually quite the luxury here, Chad. To expand upon one point that I always think it does sometimes go unmentioned is there are some players who are prolific in spots. You know, like this is something that I think that goes rather under the radar. Players are more aware of it than perhaps viewers and us here at the analyst desk typically. But one of the discussions I've always heard and has yet to be explored personally was Fur and Connector is apparently something that goes together like kind of bread and butter.
Yeah.
Is that someone you recognize when I say those two? Yeah,
I mean, he likes to go aggressive. He likes to put down the smoke, both at CT.
At CT anti?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if he's playing Connect actually. I think
Has he moved?
I don't know.
They float around.
Sure.
I think from the demos that I've been watching, the games that I've seen, it's just it's Phelps and Fur kind of exchange depending on whatever they're feeling.
They are a team that can just go like kind of, but they're feeling the match is running towards. So I see like VP or SK running like a CT running 3 guys towards short, just going like aggressive mid from short because they see they're putting a lot of effort towards blocking out window and connector. Let's just push out short. And they're super aggressive. And another spot that I thought we were going to mention was going to be Phelps.
What, window?
I mean, he's always jumping up on this ledge at catwalk and jumping into window. And that's kind of been his kind of signature. I know a lot of teams have been named that spot after him now. So that's going to be one thing that VP needs to know. I hope that they know. They should know by now that Phelps really likes to do that.
Yeah, and there is some there is depth and intricacies to how he's doing it, right? You can't just you can't watch that and then in your MM game just feel like you're going to take over the world by jumping into window.
Give it a shot. No, I mean, I've seen them helping him out. Like one guy is spraying at the same time as he's jumping, so people they won't probably hear him land. I mean, stuff like that. It's small things that people maybe don't see on stream, but things like that makes him able to be like coming from behind, even going down CT spawn. I've seen him do it times and times again as well. So I think Phelps as T side Mirage, I guess that it must be his like favorite map, right?
I mean, we discussed it in Immortals as well. It was the map where they kind of let Phelps do whatever he wanted, and he's kind of perhaps it's one of the few maps where he gets a little bit more of a looser leash. Chad, what do you make of that?
Yeah, I definitely think so. And when you have a team like this that seems almost flowing, they flow like water, right, in their approach. Speaking to Fallen in the past, it's been, well, I actually had a really big discussion with Taco, Fallen, and Cold Zero once, and I was getting all of their perspectives kind of one at a time to see how it all meshed together. But the idea is that even though Fallen's the in-game leader, when you look at things on the CT side, the players have ideas of what they want to do. They're going to say what they're doing, and then everyone else kind of molds around that. So it's constantly changing, and I think that's a cool thing because sure, you want to have your practice moves. Sure, you need to have your setups and understand how to rotate. But if you can be on the fly like that, it's so difficult to counter. So that's something that I think VP can also be kind of credited for as well, because they've been playing together for such a long period of time. They understand each other so well. They definitely understand the system and the style of Counter-Strike that they want to play. So right now, it's going to be VP being a lot more rigid in their approach early, and then being able to hopefully adapt going on. And then SK just battering the storm and hoping that what they choose to do that round is a good counter.
I remember a little kind of, if you rewind the clock just a little bit with SK, I think under a different organization at the time, I remember Fallen saying in an interview that they don't just do like dry runs. He doesn't feel like they're particularly effective in their strategy. He actually focuses on like the decision making. He basically has flowcharts in their practice where it's like, so
that's what I call the theory.
That's the theory,
yeah.
right? So we're 3v3 and we're in drop room. What do we go from there? Like that, these kind of like, if X, do what? You know, it's very interesting to think that that's the kind of process they've got. It's not so much just a page in a strat book.
No, but I think SK is probably the team that's the best in the world right now on adapting into a game, right? They can have maybe have a rough start, but they'll find a way or like a hole in the opponent's defense, and they'll just climb back and getting those rounds needed to be able to beat them when they're CT, right? And I think Fallen has been, I mean, lately last year when he won majors, and even this year I've been seeing when they're winning tournaments. I mean, the mid-round calling from SK, it's on point. Yeah. And I think that's one thing, like it's a momentum thing. So they just came from a victory in the ESL finals. I think they're gonna keep on going here with the same mindset, and they're gonna see some really good in-game calling from Fallen.
Yeah, we know of all the teams that are not affected when they're down, SK are a prime example of. Just look at the ECS finals. I mean, that looked like it was an open and shut case for FaZe. They were, you know, a round away from being 2-0 smashed, and SK do what SK do
Claw
best.
back.
Yep. They're a very scary team to go up against. Now, I haven't got quite received word on where we're at in terms of getting into this one. Just want to remind everyone that this is Mirage and this is a loser's game.
8 in server right now, Alex. Just to give you the live update right now. We have all 5 members of SK currently in the server and only 4 now from VP. So we've got to be getting pretty close.
All 5 in.
There we go. So surely we're close at this point.
Okay, fantastic. We'll get some closing thoughts then. So SKVP, I want to know, do either of you, we don't necessarily do predictions, but just because it's these two teams and it's the odds are so stacked in one person's favor according to Betway, do you guys have anything necessarily? Would you go against that in any way? Do you think this could be the start of something for VP in Cologne?
I would like to say that VP have a chance in this. It's a big tournament. VP, they used to come in and play big games in big tournaments, but at this point, SK has been showing the current form. I think the SK will win this one. Yeah,
they are just too damn intimidating. However, already one down, you know, they're with 0-1 currently.
Well, they got shell-shocked earlier, right? They kind of just, the rounds just kept slipping away from them. And then when you're down 12-3, you're kind of like, what's going on? I think if VP have any chance in winning this game, which I definitely think they do have stake in this match, it's going to have to be a win in the terms of a 16-7 or something that almost seems like a crushing victory, because I think we've already seen SK come back once today, and that resilience, both teams have it, but VP coming from, I guess, the underdog status are going to need that. I don't think they're a team who's going to, you know, ever be at the point where they're going, oh, you know, they're slowly mounting a comeback and the pressure gets to them because VP are big stage players. That's not going to happen. But it almost seems like SK, they're like a literal snowball. Like they're just building up momentum. I mean, I feel in Brazil though, so that's not literal.
A literal snowball.
Why did I say that?
I feel this
literally
is
a scary word. Yeah.
I feel it's a super important tournament for VP because this is the first tournament before the major, or the last tournament before the major. So it's in their home country, Poland. We've seen what they have done in majors in Poland before, right? So this tournament is going to really decide what kind of tone they're going into in the major, right? So I'm really hoping for them to bring up their A game now.
Well, 0-2 certainly would be a bitter pill to swallow. Of course, that would mean that they were against the ropes, no room for error. A win here puts them on level terms, 1 win, 1 loss. And to guide you through the action and to provide the answers of who is going to be sitting 0-2, 1 loss away from elimination here at ESL 1 Cologne are your casters. They're beautiful, they're well dressed, and one of them perhaps looks a little bit like Harry Potter. It's none other than Semler and Anders.
Well, thank you very much, Alex. He wants guidance and answers and everything. He's just becoming a very needy person, Alex, I feel like. Expects all sorts of things from us. Spit too much.
You know, post-life, right?
Yeah.
you know, they keep telling us over and over again, these analysts and hosts, you know, it's such a hard thing to do, job, you know, all that.
Just looking to us all the time for everything. It's a bit much, isn't it?
All right.
See him blowing a kiss. I do love Alex. We are going to head into the game very soon, and what a game it is. Virtus Pro and SK on LAN. I agree Virtus Pro looking a bit shaky, and I mean, they should be doing better and all of that, but I long ago learned not to underestimate these guys, and I'm not going to do it here either. What's the famous phrase that we always use when it comes to these? They play to the level of their opponents. That seems to be sometimes true, and I'm sure they weren't happy about the result earlier. So,
well, that's what our old saying used to be, right, Anders? I mean, it was just you never bet on Navi or on VP. Yeah. Because both teams, they could play to the level of their opponents. You would expect them to just crush an opponent, and somehow they're losing to them, and vice versa. Then they just completely obliterate one of the top tier teams. You never knew what you were going to get with either of them, which has always made it way more exciting to watch both of these teams. I think they have a lot of fans because you just have such incredible players on each of these teams. The rosters are so stacked.
It'd be very interesting, and on Mirage as well. I do agree, though, that particularly SK on this map have an enormous strength in some of the sort of role players that they have and some of the anchors that they have on that B bomb site, for instance, making it a lot easier. So, I mean, if I had to give it a call, I would say SK are the favorites in this one. But I think it's going to be pretty close, and in a best of one as well. You really never know. So welcome to the game, ladies and gentlemen. It's ESL 1 Cologne 2017. Still day one, of course. Got plenty of Counter-Strike to come. I'm excited for this particular game. We'll see. Currently setting up outside of the A bomb site next. Just trying to see if they can get the walk in. Fallen will get the frag instead. Taking down Pasha. That's not a bad way to get started in the game if you're SK Gaming. And now they're going to go check underpass just to make sure that there's no flank coming in. That's really thorough work from SK. They can still retake the site, but now they're sure that they only have to focus on the site itself and nowhere else. That's a pretty good job, and one hell of a grenade too.
Well, there we have it. I mean, can they actually hold on to this, though, VP? Because they've got that bomb planted now, so it's going to be the full 5-man retake coming in here for SK Gaming. Everybody coming from the same area, so this is just going to be a straight-up brawl. They're out of utility, and it's all about the headshots. And already, Bialy, Neo, everybody chiming in for VP. They've brought it back to a 3-on-3, and
tapping a little bit. Taco with one hell of a headshot, and he's got the kit picked up, so he's going to be able to defuse the bomb. Will be close, but not close enough for Virtus Pro. So SK winning the round with a double kill. Yeah, it's nice to see them. That's some basic work that teams sometimes forget, but just that little part about checking the middle makes me quite happy. And then it's a bit of a shame they lost so many people to jumping by the boxes in the corner, but ultimately it's going to work out just fine for the SK side. Now this is interesting though. Normally you put the bomb down in the pistol and you don't win it, you just wait and buy in the third round. Not for Virtus Pro. They've gone AK on Snacks instead with that armor. That's very curious. We'll see.
Thing is, you never really want to. I mean, yes, okay, they touched on that on the analyst desk a little bit. You know, the fact that VP were the front runners on Mirage, they've always been a bit beastly. The thing is, right now though, SK Gaming, they're just so good on this map. They feel like they've got it figured out. And so even if you are VP, you have the firepower, the smarts of VP. Do you really want to be taking on SK Gaming here? I don't think so. I think I'm going to go ahead and back SK in this match. That they're going to be the ones getting into the 1-1 situation, and that VP are going to be on the back foot once again. SK have won the last 3 tournaments they've attended. They're on a roll right now. They're beasts.
Yeah, but look at this flank from Neo. P250 checking the window as well. This is actually looking really good for Virtus Pro right now. Fur holding on the ramp. Phelps will take down one player there, so at least there's a chance. And now, the second kill coming in from Cold Zero. Virtus Pro using none of their... They had so many good positions there to win that round, and they managed to pretty much utilize none of them. That's really disappointing, and if you're Virtus Pro, if you get given a gift like that, you've got to be able to capitalize on it. And that was a big risk to buy in that round. We'll see what happens in the next one. I mean, I guess everyone but Snacks can still buy, especially with the with the bomb plant.
It's just you didn't get nearly enough out of it. I mean, okay, you got the bomb plant, you got the bonus 800, but you really wanted to be getting some kills on SK Gaming, forcing them to spend a lot more money. Here, they're going to be going up against an SK Gaming, 2 rifles, 2 MPs, and full utility across the board. And of course, Fallen has got his AWP. So It's not going to be a battered, a bruised SK Gaming. It's going to be a beastly SK Gaming who are ready to take the fight because they have all the tools necessary.
Well, Snacks checking out underpass. He's obviously dropped a weapon by Bialy, who's taken one for the team. Going to be playing with a Tech 9 instead. This is still just a fine buy for Virtus Pro. I don't see any problem with this right now. The only potential issue could be the lack of grenades if they want to go for an execute with the smokes. And especially in the afterplant situation, it could get a bit weird. SK not really taking too many risks, although they are lingering around the A ramp, as you can tell. So if they go and actually check that, that could be some really good information then to realize what's going on, especially as they're missing a lot of info in the middle right now.
It's going to be a big timing here. It looks like VP are going to be rushing onto the site, and Fallen, unexpected spot for him to be holding in, gets that first pick. Snacks, unfortunately for him, he is gone. So a man advantage now, although Neo will catch Phelps. He was playing Shadows. Fallen still alive on the site. Headshot on Taz. Couldn't get the follow-up, but Bialy's there with the flank. And there it is. The bomb site once again under control here for Virtus Pro.
Great double kill from Fur, but the Pasha with the double of his own can't get away in time, and Taco will take him down.
Never mind.
I mean, that was... everything seemed to be working out, but...
it looked good.
Just falling a bit short here. 3 and and some risks being taken by VP in the beginning, but also I would say a bit unusual for SK to be giving up that much mid control to Virtus Pro. That's really dangerous, and it can backfire really heavily. In fact, I think a lot of the rounds nowadays that people lose on the CT side is because one terrorist has snuck up into the connector and is suddenly either shooting the guy window or shooting someone on the site without no one realizing. I think that's such a common mistake. That people have to try and avoid it the best they can.
They wait for the rotator, but not only is it the shots, it's just the fact that if you have somebody holding that close, all of a sudden he's getting all that audio information. And so you can hear the rotations early, you can get an early warning over to your teammates, and that can influence where you want to wind up on for that bomb site. And so right now, 3-0 lead for SK Gaming. Things looking pretty hunky-dory here for the Brazilians, and they're just going to have a nice a nice anti-eco here. It's a hard eco round for VP. So Snacks, Bialy last two alive. Bialy not for long. Snacks kind of hanging out, and he will get a kill. 2 kills, in fact. What is this? Trying to go for the BDP, and they're going to get punished. 3 kills already, VP. That makes a huge difference. Snacks doing a world of good.
What an outrageous waste of money from SK's point of view. I mean, I suppose they thought they had him pretty much locked down, but that's a lot of rifles to give away in a round that you have 100% won. There's still no chance all the Snacks can actually make it out here. The bomb is dropped, and he's going to go down to Taco, who gets a quad kill. But yeah, that's wild and out of control from Snacks. Like you can see why Cold Zero is thinking, listen, I'm going to follow this up, and like every person, that's sort of how this happens, right? Every SK player is thinking, I've got him. He's surely reloading. He's running. It's no issue. I'm going to take him out. Just not meant to be. Double AWP, though, for SK side. And one on Pasha as well there on VP. Let's see how this plays out. The Polish team still lacking a round on the scoreboard here. It'd be nice if they could start to pick one up soon.
Oh, that HE. I was hoping it would do a little bit more damage there. That was a bit of a risk taken by Phelps in mid. But instead, it does look like there will be a little bit of a crossfire here. Phelps kind of hanging out towards window. Fur, hoping to catch somebody out in connector. And in the meantime, Snacks delayed by the Molotov, but pretty soon he will be able to start moving in to get that pincer into mid here for Virtus Pro, which they're so good at. SK Gaming, though, using a lot of their utility here to try and stumble that, to try and delay it a little bit longer. Another Molotov going into underpass. But eventually VP will make it happen, and now they can go for that collapse onto the A site once again.
Oh, Snacks making his way up in connector. I think he made enough noise that Fur should have heard on the other side. He's definitely aware that something is going on. Snacks walking right in through the fading smoke. And this is what the panelists were talking about. Snacks just drawn to that smoke.
Dude, I like Chad's way of saying that. He's just a moth. Makes total sense.
It does make sense. Well, they've lost Fur in the meantime, but Taco's still on the bomb side, and a bit of an off angle for him. Difficult to guess that he was going to be there. Now that's the bomb drop, a big problem, and Phelps picking up another kill almost at the end of the round as Taz does go down. That mid bomb side position, it's very, very bad if you're on the CT side and they come out apartments and A ramp and you're there, because then you're dead immediately. You can't get away. There's nothing you can do. But if they're only coming up ramp, they're not going to be looking. There's no reason why they would, and it's so unexpected. It's very, very hard. I mean, it's not bad play from Virtus Pro. It's just that, you know, you have 3 or 4 other angles that you've got to cover at that point in time, and that's just not one of them. 9 times out of 10 at least. So 5-0 lead here.
Are we gonna get the change? Nope. Looks like it's gonna be contact B instead. Waiting right outside of B apartments. I was thinking that they would just try and go for the rush, but those anti-rush nades would have definitely messed them up, and so VP kind of playing it patient, hoping that somebody on SK's side is going to go aggressive here, look for a peek, and that's where Taz can step up with that deagle, maybe hit a one-tap, and really start the ball rolling here for the Bears. But patience from Taco and Cold. They've actually set up a trap, so it's really not going to work out here for Virtus Pro. If they're expecting somebody to push, it shouldn't happen.
That's a nice play from Taco. I kind of like that. Does eventually fall back, or Virtus Pro will over from that side. Seems just a bit disjointed here. You know, they put in some grenades towards B, but surely there's no way they can believe that that was really a fake. So I just think maybe they decided to cancel that halfway through for any number of reasons. Good counter grenades coming out from SK, making life a bit more tricky for the Virtus Pro side, and easy job here for SK. Certainly doing a remarkable job.
What a perfect swap. Neo, though, will pick up the kill on Phelps. But that was a clever play coming in between Fur and Phelps, swapping places. Fur making sure that he backs off and stays alive with that low HP, drawing in the VP players from Connector. And look at this, Snacks. They're going to get spotted eventually. Sure enough. Somehow Taco doesn't hit a single bullet on him. Snacks was so low, but it seems like VP are getting the majority of their kills on eco rounds here, Anders. What's going on here? Pistols, again, just being so strong. So strong.
It's one of those classic situations. You would hope by now that maybe they would go for some sort of tactical timeout. That would be nice to see if they could pick it up, let Cuban do a bit of talking, just get everyone calmed down. I like that they were so ready to take risks early on, Virtus Pro. That's not a problem. It's just when they don't work out, you know, you've got to have the mental stamina to keep fighting and not just get completely shut down, which it kind of feels like they are at the moment. Fur gets a kill, and that's a really important early push there. Big problem for Virtus Pro, because if they were going to crunch that A-bomb site, they sort of needed Bialy to be up there.
Exactly. And Fur just doing what Fur does best. And this is where SK Gaming truly become terrifying. Now you're going to start having Fur, you're going to have to start having Phelps, you know, getting out there, getting aggressive, looking for picks. That's exactly what Fur does on Mirage, and he excels at it. He's always a threat. And another pick. This time it's Cold Zera finding Pasha. So, 2-man advantage here. And to me, this just looks like SK Gaming are in total control of the situation.
Yeah, it's tricky to see what they could do. I mean, in a 5v3 like this, you're really relying on the enemy team to make a big mistake. And a sign of that would be, you know, if there was much of a battle going on in the middle right now, anyone trying to take any kind of an aim fight with VP, that would be a problem. But no one is. They're just set up and ready and waiting. They don't really want to risk it. 40 seconds on the clock, and Fur will get another kill, leaving it in a 2 versus 5. So even the dream of getting many kills and maybe getting the bomb down here is kind of gone for VP. This is out of control.
What a shot from Fallen. Snacks is just not having a fun time. I mean, he's got the most kills on his team now, but that's 5. He's got 5 kills, Anders. It's not quite cutting it. Not when you're going to have Fallen just ripping his head off like that. And, well, some flashes, no need to rush things here if you're SK Gaming. You've got every player alive, and sure enough, you'll find Taz out in the open trying to make a play with, 10 seconds left in the round. And so that was pretty much it. And there it is, the fail-safe, right? Teams, you know, you get to 7-0. I mean, I agree, Anders. It would probably be better to just call the timeout. You have 4 of them. Call the timeout when it's like 5-0.
Yeah.
But, you know, letting it get to 7-0, some teams, they have that fail-safe where no matter what, you take a timeout at that point and start discussing what needs to happen.
Especially when you have all those timeouts and you're playing a best-of-1 game. And you're not looking as mentally strong as maybe you should be. Virtus Pro do have this weird thing, and I mean, they have, I think, several limitations that stop them from getting late into tournaments now. Well, for one thing, they suck online, so sometimes they don't even make tournaments. Just, you know, if the online portion sort of rules that out. And the next thing, historically, this has always been true, even way back. They're like a sort of a team that peak late in the tournament. That's a big strength if you can make it through the group stage, right? Because it's like they expend almost minimal energy, and then once you get to the playoffs, they suddenly become really good and they're way better. But you sort of have to make it through, right? And it's a problem now because you know, if you end up facing teams like SK in the rest in group stage, it's just a bit of a nightmare.
Well, this could be particularly painful, right? If you're a slow ramping kind of team, the format here is different. Usually Swiss, you're used to having like 1 round per day. And so your group phase goes out 3 days. If you go 3-0, 0-3, right, you know, there's a little bit more time for you to ramp up. Here, we have basically 2 of those phases crunched into 1 day. So your tournament could be over in 2 days. If you go 0-3, that's it. Nicely done, though. They're starting to find some picks here, Virtus Pro, and that's going to make the difference. Man advantage now with the plant on the A site. And SK Gaming, they can start thinking perhaps that now's the time to save.
Yeah, I would say don't really do this. Maybe if you, I don't know, I'm not sure exactly how much money they have, but if you've got enough, you can always try and get a bunch of kills and just make life really hard on them. Which I guess is what they're probably fighting for right now. They just want to make sure that they don't save 4 rifles, and it's actually not a bad move for SK Gaming if they can succeed in doing it. Taco's going to go down, Snacks well aware. And now, finally around for Virtus Pro, 7-1. And he's, it's not that much money in SK. I thought maybe it'd be a bit more. So that's, yeah, they needed more out of this round. A miscalculation maybe, or at least a failed attempt to do the economic damage.
Just VP actually hitting shots. I mean, that's kind of been one of the major issues here is that they've lost pretty much every duel so far at the beginning of this first half. Now they have a round where they get 2 opening kills, and that makes all of the difference. And so SK, you know, they roll on confidence. They want to have Fur out there looking for fights, but that might temper that just a little bit. That should play in Virtus Pro's favor. If SK start to hesitate a little bit, start losing some duels, that will have an impact on their CT side. 7-1, SK still in the lead pretty comfortably here. And the double op, right back into the double op. Oh, that nade!
That's so brutal. Flash coming right through the smoke. Taco almost getting caught, but he's got a bit of backup here in Cold Sierra. He's immediately going to lose his teammate, and Cold now alone on the site. Triple entry happening here for Virtus Pro, and that's more how we like it. Fur and Fallen just have to back off and try and save what they have.
Enough of the mid control, get in there, go for a timing play, and just explode onto the site. You know, that Virtus plow, that's what they were known for. Just get in their face with a big explosive play. Don't really rely on the duels. Just try and go for that execute. 1 flash and everybody run through the smoke. And so VP kind of simplifying things. And really, this is why teams hate playing against Virtus Pro. It's because they have so much experience. They've worked out so many strategies over the years that they've been together that at any moment they can just change up their game plan. They all know how to play with each other so well.
I wonder where I mean, Taco put out a great HE grenade through the smoke. That was sort of a blind guess, but once he gets flashed through the smoke, I realize Cold Sierra is behind him with the AWP, but you wish that there was just a couple of more grenades coming out into that B hallway. It's so effective, especially if you have the Molotovs, which I think they should have, maybe had. That could have been interesting, but yeah, once the Ts are actually allowed to get out the hallway and jump out the window like that, especially when both of your players are pushed that far back, it's not like you have a crossfire setup. It's a bit different if let's say Taco was holding that plateau on B or the hallway, and he falls back, but then Cold Sierra is on catwalk towards middle, then you could do a crossfire and it makes more sense. Very aggressive move coming out of Fur, as we've been talking about. He loves doing this, but he's been denied. Has to fall back instead. It's going to be an A execute coming in with Fallen hitting a great shot, taking down Snacks.
Again, looking for that opening kill. Fallen is gone. Cold then goes ahead and proceeds to pick up one of his own, and they spotted the man in sandwich as well, and so definitely Bialy not long for this world. VP getting picked off 1 at a time before Neo finally steps up and is able to bring 1 kill back. But that's pretty much all they're going to get in this round, it looks like, because already it's Neo alone, 1v4. Doesn't even get Taco at the murder hole. 8-2 now for SK Gaming. They lose it, and then they bounce right back into it, with 4 players surviving as well. And so that economy that was looking a little shaky, where VP probably were patting themselves on the back like, yeah, we're getting close, guys. 1 more win, and we're going to have them, you know, ecoing. It's going to be getting easier, and we're good. Nope. SK Gaming recovered just in time to prevent it.
Very interesting, and very sort of disjointed. I mean, without the entry kills on that A bomb site, you can tell that there's not much left. That mid flank that's supposed to be coming in just doesn't really do anything, and that's just a problem for the SK side here. 6-round gap, and we're moving into the 11th round here. Single AWP back on SK side, but still very important. And
once again,
yeah, the aggressive push. Ooh, we get shut down immediately though. That's not bad.
There we go. There we go. That was what VP were missing before when Fur was going for his aggro play. he can hit some headshots, it's going to start looking good, but then Phelps with the double spray brings it right back SK Gaming's way. What was that?
Such a shame for the VP side. Fallen doing something that he's an absolute expert in, pushing close. Didn't realize that Neo would run through the smoke, and that's just a miscalculation on his part. 2 versus 3, the bomb is in top mid being picked up here, but Snacks is going to get flashed, and Phelps will find a 3rd kill. Maybe even more here as Neo is out in the open, going for the flick taco instead. And a 9-2 scoreline favoring SK Gaming is so brutal right now.
Oh man, that spray. Long range across half the map. Let's go.
And if you want to look at, if you want to analyze this round from V2's point of view, those 2 people on top mid are taking that fight, while there is a man in underpass who's, 3 seconds away from being able to help you out. And that's kind of not okay. You gotta make sure you just count to 3 and get the timing down.
Worst part is Fallen getting the kill after that. If you're coming through A pit at that point, you're like, they're not going to hold passive. We should be able to walk up, ramp here and start at least making our way onto A site. And then Fallen's just like, no, actually, I'm holding point blank with the op shotgun. Let's go. I mean, Phelps right now, he's doing some pretty good work for the Brazilian team. Jumps him up, but they're so even right now. There's no real weakness on SK Gaming. 11 kills for Phelps, Fur, and Taco. And then Fallen and Cold, they're not even that far behind. 8 for Fallen, 6 for Cold. It's just like, so far what we've seen is a pissed off SK Gaming. I mean, after the upset loss to Space Soldiers to start off their tournament, SK Gaming, 16-14 loss on Cash. When you're SK, you're not supposed to lose a match like that, and it looks like that's pissed them off. They're here to do some damage.
Yeah, that was really quite exciting. I think especially for Space Soldiers, that was an interesting game in so many ways, especially because of there were some big clutches coming from some of these Space Soldiers players that just you probably weren't expecting. I mean, Santares is a name that we've heard thrown around a lot, but he was by far and away not the only one doing a lot of work there. So that has me very curious. I really look forward to the next Space Soldiers game, see what's coming up there. Fallen flashed and still gets the kill on Taz, just counting the seconds in his mind, and apparently the timing was perfect for it. Bomb plant, yes, winning the round. I seriously doubt it, although Cold Zero decides to run right through. It's still going to be an easy cleanup here for the SK side, but at least they got the bomb plant. That happened.
Yeah, no, they get that bonus money, which is pretty much the goal of that round. Was that a collateral on Snacks as well? I'm wondering if Fallen managed to get that wallbang shot in. But
could have been.
Give it to him. 10-2, anti-eco for days.
13th round here. Got a bit of a struggle right now for Virtus Pro. If they could pick up, the last 3 rounds here, still competitive. But I feel like teams lately, and I mean all teams, have been struggling a lot more to pick up CT rounds than they have T rounds. The fact that SK are up to 10 right now has me just a bit worried for Virtus Pro. A lot can change if they win the pistol round in the second half, but they really need to do a bit more here. Look at the counter grenades, not allowing any one of the apartments coming out. Snacks forces his way through, but look at the damage to him. Just the bullets and some Molotov damage as well, really causing a lot of trouble for him. They will be getting the bomb plant once again, but the retake for SK should still be pretty good.
Oh yeah, Phelps just hoping to get lucky with some of the spray through the smoke, and eventually, oh look at the clever boost. Does he get that HE on him? That was about to be the pure touchdown HE. Snack's still somehow alive. Once again, 1 HP for him. And so, still just hanging in here, man advantage. They're still taking the fight. Eventually he will go down, but some good shots coming through from VP to make this a little bit closer than it would have been otherwise. 2 players survive for SK Gaming, well into the double digits now. 11 rounds on the board, CT side Mirage. And I know what you're talking about, Anders, with that T side that we've been seeing a lot. Like at the major qualifier, it just felt like, oh, this is actually a flipped map now. It's just T side. There's no more CT side advantage for Mirage. SK showing us otherwise.
Yeah, it's very interesting how that's been working out. I tried to talk to some of the teams throughout the day here, just to try and figure out, why exactly is that? What's their take on it? And I would say that there are definitely split opinions, but it seems to be sort of a bit of a meta switch going on where you know, everyone is so focused on finding the right executes and the right offense that they spend just less time on worrying about CT defense.
Right.
And then that could be it. You know, if everyone suddenly decides that's what we need to fix, then that's how the game swings. They've taken down Fur early on, but nice find from Fallen. He's going to go back in the middle there, picked up by Neo instead, leaving Phelps in an absolutely excruciating situation. Going to be in a lot of trouble here either way. They're really slowing it down. That's going to buy some time. Taco gets a kill with the AWP. Phelps finding a way out and picking up another one there. That's a big problem. Virtus.pro, they had him locked in.
Now they know that somebody's in connector as well here for VP. That's Pasha with that AWP, 2-on-2 situation. They don't know that Bialy is over towards apartments, but it looks like it's just been spotted out now. And so, will they be able to get the bomb planted? 50 seconds left here for Virtus.pro, and sure enough, the shot, but somehow he misses. No, not like this, Pasha. He will get the kill, but that was way too close, and Bialy will find Cold as well. But for a second there, you just thought this is nightmare. This is a nightmare right here for Pasha.
Yeah, I don't even know where that bullet went. It looked like it was like right between his arms or right under his arm or something. That was a bit too close for comfort. 15th round is coming up now, and SK's economy, I mean, it's not broken, but it's at least taken a bit of a hit. We're down 2 from us. We have limited grenades, only 2 Molotovs and everything else there. So Virtus.pro maybe could find a 4th round here. The flick not working out, and instead Fallen will take a kill on Taz.
Oh man, 12-3 maybe possible here. Fur continues to push aggressive as well. Neo's been tagged down very low. 1 bullet would do the trick. But Fur waiting for some support from his teammates. It looks like he's not quite going to be pushing early enough, and Neo will be able to back out intact. 3 players alive over on the A side of the map here for Virtus.pro. 2 towards Pit and 1 in a Palace. That's Snacks. Looking to see if he can find somebody out of position here to bring this back.
Fur still pushing, and I think he heard Neo running back. That's not 100%. I mean, that could just have been sort of fake running from Neo, but now Fur's just confirming it. Freiburg was talking about this during the panel, just how hard it is to play against someone like Fur on this map because he's all over the place. And right now, every step that he takes brings them just a bit closer to closing out this round in their favor. Fallen does go down, so it's still a 4-on-4, and now a Cold Zero trapped in the corner. They have Molotovs. They're going to throw 1 into Shadow, and none onto him right now, so he's got a pretty sweet position. Does go down, in spite of the fact that Snacks is running out. Here comes Fur with the 1 kill, and it could have been way more than that. He's just a bit too slow. Phelps will pick up 1 on Pasha, though, and that leaves Neo very low on health with the flank here. He can get 1 kill, but I doubt he can win the round.
Especially if they double up. If they go in as a pair and get flashed as a pair, that might make things awkward. The flash is there, and Neo trying his best to make that a 1v1 situation. Eventually, Fur will stand up. But Fur, he is just the god of flanks at that point. He played that so well. Took him too long to get the first kill. Instead of trying to force it, he just backed off. And in the confusion, they have to worry about him. Boom, his teammates are wrecking house. A fantastic first half here for SK Gaming. 12-3. It just didn't feel like, at least in the first 8 rounds, that Virtus.pro could actually win a duel. Then they started winning some duels and managed to get 3 rounds on the board. But this just felt like the SK Gaming show the entire way through here. A good recovery for the Brazilians. And just to remind you all, this is a losers match. These teams are both 0-1 right now.
Yeah, well, we are going to go to a quick break, and when we come back, the second half will be with us. So stay tuned. Gaming and Virtus Pro Day 1 of ESL 1 Cologne 2017. It's been very interesting and very one-sided, heavily favoring the Brazilian team that is just looking very powerful. 12-3 in their favor. There's no way we can sugarcoat that. We can't sex that up anymore.
I mean, and that's with Pasha and Neo on the team, man. If you can't sex it up with those two guys, man, you know you're in deep.
Yeah, even if you were into the rough stuff, this is too much.
Well, the thing is like clearly SK Gaming, you know, they forgot the safe word. They just decided to go ahead and finish this quick, nice and easy. If they win this pistol round, they're going to be perfectly primed to take this and actually tie it up 1-1 for themselves, whereas Virtus Pro will be the team once again staring down a loss in the groups, once again looking at a disaster, because this is one of the biggest tournaments of the year. VP are expected to get far in here, make top 4, and at least challenge for the finals, not find themselves 0-2 in the groups on the first day.
And they're a team that thrive on the energy of the audience and all of those things. You know, that's why you want them to make it to the playoffs, because once they're in that arena, once they're playing in front of a massive crowd, which we know it will be, we've seen the ticket sales go up and up and up. It's going to be, I mean, that's why you want that team to go there. It's going to be very exciting. I hope they make it, but, you know, if they don't play well, then they're not going to be able to do that. 12-3 here. And the second half is going to be underway. We do have a Molotov on Fallen and a couple of flashbangs as well. And pretty much nothing out of the ordinary, I would say, for VP side. Grenade on Neo and a single diffuse kit as well. And
yep, no idea.
There we go.
All right.
It's all good.
It's all good.
SK, I think, actually expecting some sort of wild and crazy play coming out of VP, because they dropped the bomb and T-spawn. They've set up with 5 positions that just cover the whole map. So they just, whatever happens here, they don't want VP to sneak in anywhere. So fair play to SK. I think this is not a bad way to start a round.
Yeah, really taking their time with it. I'm just curious to see where this Molotov and 2 flashes, where these are going to wind up here for Fallen.
Probably, I mean, if you're going to be, you probably for Taz's position exactly, I would suspect. He's holding close. Actually, Phelps is going to go and make some noise beforehand, but either way, if you want to rush it, it's a pretty good idea, and there's what they were waiting for. Snacks decides to go on an adventure, and he's going to get shut down in underpass, and this is quite a big problem. Could also be for the afterpart scenario, that Molotov, which would be very hard to deal with. Phelps getting a shot and taking down Taz, and now it's completely unraveling here for Virtus Pro. Neo getting one back, but the headshot, and immediately he's almost down and out. Great Molotov actually just clearing out that corner. So many positions to use that one grenade in, but Fallen definitely with a great idea. Taco trying to see if he can make his way out towards the bench. Actually, they're going to pick up a couple of headshots in return now. It's a 2-on-2, and Fallen with a quick reply, taking down the alley. So that's going to leave Pasha in a 1-on-2.
Bomb is not planted. Well, doesn't really matter, does it? Bomb was not planted for Phelps, and so that would have been a bit of a tricky position there for Fallen. He would have been the one to have to take point and fight Pasha quickly if Pasha actually tapped that bomb. But, I mean, Fallen clearly just zeroed in there. 2 kills for him in that key retake, and he's able to actually hold it and manage to pick up the pistol round here for SK going into the second half. 10-round lead now for SK Gaming, 13-3, and still rolling with the UMPs. I approve. I approve.
Pasha playing close with the scout. We've been talking so much about the second round buy and how more people are starting to not buy the armor, but honestly, if you're this far behind, I say go for it. I say give yourself the chance to make this 13-4. If you want to spark a comeback, it has to be right about now. Neo will do the first bid there in taking down Phelps. That's the kind of start that they need here on the VP side, and Snacks to knock out Fur as well. That's very interesting.
That's something. Luckily for them, Neo decides to get antsy and go for the peek towards mid. Will get punished. Will get caught by coldzera. It's still well within SK Gaming's means to win in this round. They have the superior firepower. Still only up against the pistols. Snacks has recovered that MAC-10, but that's the extent of it. Taco taking point, hoping to catch somebody out over here towards this B site, but he is not going to find Taz this time. And well, with 50 seconds left on the clock here, it is going to be up to SK to figure out where they want to take this bomb. Oh. Timing impeccable. Can he get the shot though? No! Somehow Snacks wins that duel.
It's very strange. I mean, I love the idea of having the pop flash, but for one thing, that wasn't a pop flash. It bounced into the wall and then back into the hallway. That's way too long. Like 100% of the time, Snacks is going to be turning around for that one. Another thing is Taco was so far away that he had to jump down and then sort of run down the stairwell. I actually liked none of that. But the idea is good. That's all that counts, people say.
Does this work for Bialy, though? They have no idea that Bialy is up here. I mean, they have kind of cleared out CT, so they could be guessing. But highly unlikely. Fallen, it's most likely going to be him getting shot in the side of the face here, especially with Taz making all of this noise. A lot of the focus is going to be right here towards jungle, and sure enough, Bialy pounces, finds the 1 kill, but they still have coldzera alive here behind CT, decides to just take the fight before they even tap the bomb. That's a surprise for Cold. Fresh smoke, perhaps? He was worried about that, wanted to just find that 1 kill. That's what the confidence can do to you sometimes. You decide to just rush it. And well, VP, they get a breath of fresh air here.
Yeah, I suppose it's also, you know, if one guy gets on the defuse, then the other guy will for sure be spotting it. If you go before any of that even happens, maybe you catch them as they're trying to pick up a rifle off the ground or some silly stuff like that, you know. So I think maybe they were maybe it was just like a gut feeling that, listen, I'll beat the internal timing they have in their head about when to look for me. I think that's probably the explanation. Be my guess. Or he lost his mind. Who knows?
Also possible.
Snacks is holding in connector, and the Bialy is holding towards CT spawn. It's not a bad setup here for VP to defend the incoming push for SK, which is going to be almost, no signal at all. No grenades thrown, just running in with the pistols out, hoping to get the bomb plant in as quick as possible. Someone is actually on it. Oh, Bialy, not quite realizing. He actually could have just continued to spray and got it. I think maybe the corpse of his fallen teammate covered Bialy.
That's exactly it. I think so as well. Unlucky there for Bialy. He could have been the hero to deny that bonus 800 there for SK Gaming, but that is huge for SK. Now they should actually have a fairly comfortable buy going into the next round thanks to that. AKs, full nades, and will Fallen go for the AWP? That's what I'm wondering here. Nope. No AWP. But an excellent buy here for SK Gaming thanks to that bomb plant. So they should be feeling pretty good about things. No, it wasn't even that. I guess he just didn't notice him in the shadow there. Bizarre, bizarre.
Yeah, focus on somewhere else, you have to assume. But with the bomb plant as well, SK going to be looking good in this round with the AKs. And we've seen a lot of teams lately that struggle to close out games. I would suspect that SK would not be one of them. I think they have the sort of leadership in Fallen that is required to really just pick up these last couple of rounds here. They just need 3 more, and Fallen will be getting a frag with the Molotov, taking down Snacks. Next is going to be Neo out of the round. So this is one hell of a powerful start. coldzera is on a weird mission all the way over at B. Can't surely expect to find anyone still here. I guess it doesn't matter because his team is doing just fine, but that's a bit too far away, I would suspect.
Woo! Pasha, nice try. He nearly gets it through the smoke. That was a close one. Fallen has to be counting his lucky stars right now. A little bit of team damage going in there even. And for a second, he had his crosshair dead on. He could have picked up that kill. Phelps would not have been happy. Eventually, he will fall to Phelps. There's the headshot. And yeah, when SK, they're already fired up and aggressive in the first half with the CT side when they have the M4s. This is kind of what you expect to see from them when they have the AKs. Just headshots galore everywhere, VP getting overrun. All of the confidence is on the Brazilian side here. But thankfully for VP, they had actually quite a good economy going. 2 ops picked up. Both of those operas have Kevlar as well. So this is a bit of a, well, I mean, I guess you have to risk it. It's 14-5. You got no more room to back up.
Yeah, something has to work out. Some damage through the smoke onto Pasha. That's going to be very annoying. And he also missed the chance to take down Fallen, who was leapfrogging across the middle for some odd reason.
Now they know that there's an op in play for SK as well. He lost the element of surprise and got nothing for it. But a bunch of lead to the face. Well, I guess more to the body. If he took it to the face, he'd be dead, right? So maybe the leg.
Yeah, still painful, but not yet lethal anyway. Oh, that's a nice angle from Taz. Not easy from Taco to see. So VP with another round, well, another good start to a round at least, and SK for once with not that much map control. I mean, they've got some in the middle here, first sneaking out of underpass, but still with under a minute on the clock and really no smokes or anything here on SK. They just put in a grenade towards connector, but all they have otherwise is the Molotov on the first. So I think VP are in a pretty good position in this round.
I agree. A lot of damage dealt there to Cold as well. Somehow they are out of it, but they have 3 in mid right now, the control, so they're just hoping for somebody to overstep, and well, somebody does, but Phelps is not up to the task. Pasha will find the shot first. So back into control here for VP, very comfortable 2-man lead. Bialy, though, he's going aggressive towards connector. And sure enough, gets a shot to the face. That opens it up here. Fur looking to follow it up, but Pasha holding the angle. The bait works perfectly. Fallen, is he going to get any joy here? And sure enough, he finds Pasha. Now he needs to try and get the kill on Snacks. That's the follow-up, and it's going to happen. 8 seconds left, and he's going to be able to get the bomb plant here, Fallen.
Such a ridiculous spray from Fallen, especially the second kill. Just very impressive. Was unlikely that he was ever going to win it. So another round for Virtus Pro, but quite heavy damage inflicted to the Polish side regardless. I mean, that double orb investment, they're going to be able to save both of them, but everybody else has to buy, and they really don't have a lot of money. So SK making the most out of every round, you feel. You know, that was from a 3v5 situation, and they bring it back into a 1-on-2 on SK side. That's really annoying if you're a VP. Don't want to see that.
No, not at all. Because it's, I mean, they are going to be able to drop the 2 guns. But they should be light on nades here for Pasha. Both Pasha and Taz going to be cutting it a little fine. Whereas SK Gaming, bomb plant again. They're very good about getting these bomb plants so far, SK. So another round with the AKs, with the nades. And we'll see if they decide to hold on to a smoke this time to make life a little bit easier towards the end of the round. Only the 2 left.
Quite a bit big setup in connector here, which I always think is such a risk. So many of these fights end up happening through the smoke, or someone just sort of, you know, you can halfway see someone, you hear some steps or something. It's very hard to control for either team, and this time it's working out great for Bialy though. He had Taz with him, so now they should back off. I'm not sure why they're sticking around. Just get out. Yeah, there we go. Good move on their part. Taco gonna get down to half health as well. In fact, even lower. And VP just need to relax here. I look for a minute like they wanted to keep pushing in middle.
Yeah, Fallen though. He is going to follow up on the aggression. Can he find the fall? But yes, he does. 2 headshots for Fallen. Brings it back to a 3-on-3. Big shot there, and Cold will find the man overextending on short. That leaves it down to Snacks and Pasha. Last 2 alive. 2 ops in play. And they don't have any nades left here, SK Gaming. So this is going to have to be done dirty. They're going to have to find the headshots. They do have a little bit more time left to play with here. 35 seconds in the round.
It's a real mystery how Virtus Pro managed to set up such bad positions after they get the first 2 kills. They get into 2 positions, either in jungle or in window and on the stairwell there, and none of them can refrag. They can't even help each other out. They just get shut down one at a time. And they had Pasha covering them for CT spawn. Inexplicable. Pasha now scoped up towards CT spawn. Easy kill on Fallen, with just 8 seconds left. That might just be what they needed. Trying to get the bomb plant in, but Pasha's going to deny it, and that will win the round. So all hail Pasha. That's what they needed.
That's really what they needed. They needed Fallen to be looking the wrong way.
But that's just very disturbing. Like that, this is not really supposed to happen. It's like Galil as well, just shutting them down.
Yeah, 6 shots from Fallen. You got to give it there. It's like, it's that tough situation where it's like, yeah, VP, they made the mistakes, but then Fallen also hit some pretty clean shots with the rifle that is not at all popular.
Yeah, well, I don't mind Fallen hitting shots. It's just that someone's supposed to be shooting at him from another angle. The first time he clicks the gun, right, someone's going to be up. Well, here's the refrag.
Yeah,
and it's like,
sure.
And the problem is, if you're VP and you can't set that situation up to win a 3 versus 5, that's yeah, concerning,
painful,
disturbing.
Oh, they're going to make it look like it's the smoke execute onto A here for SK Gaming.
For trying to make himself bigger than he is right now on that bomb side. He does get shut down from Bialy, so Bialy's going to be able to call it in any second. I mean, look, there's no one else coming here. They're not really moving. Snacks is on the other side, and Cold Zero opening up. Snacks has got the AWP, so they can run him down. And they're going to try and do that, jumping out. Snacks is still behind them, still doing a little bit of damage, and he actually pick up the kill on Taco as well. That's very well done. I think they thought that he had fallen further back, so they just weren't ready for the fact that he was standing right there.
Missed opportunity. Pasha, 1 HP. How many times is somebody going to survive on 1 HP through a hail of bullets this map? Snacks had that luck before. Now it's Pasha just barely hanging in there. Had Cold managed to turn this into a 1v2, things could get real nasty. A 1v3 here. All 3 players, they know where the bomb is as well, so they're just going to be able to camp on that B site. With 25 seconds left, Cold really doesn't have a whole lot of time to work with here. It's almost a question of, well, there is no, he has an AK already. Is it worth it to just back off and save your gun for the next round? No. You want the monies? I don't know. This is tough, man.
Yeah, I would say just do that. I mean, they don't have a lot, so so SK, they're going to be ecoing anyway. Might as well just have the 8K to play around with in that round, and then see what happens. Timeout has been called. Again, SK, just a question of finding the last 2 rounds. So now put Fallen's mind to work. Maybe have Cold Zero help out if you need, but just, you know, collectively find a way to bring the last 2 rounds home. There are some executes that we don't see. We didn't see them for Virtus Pro, who I would say weren't really too creative on their T side. But SK, I mean, they've played fairly slowly. Why not try and be a bit more aggressive on that catwalk? Smoke middle, smoke connector, run up the catwalk, get into the B-bomb side. Maybe have like 3 people catwalk, 2 people B apartments.
Right.
Especially if you know Snax is going to be playing with the orb down towards the truck, or if you're guessing that's what happens. If you win the catwalk fight against the other SK player or the other VP player that's holding there, then, you know, with the amount of flashes that are going to be coming in, he's going to have a really hard time putting that orb to use. But I think that's I don't know, potentially an idea. A double orb as well on Virtus Pro again.
Yeah, they aren't. It doesn't seem like they want to back off of that strategy.
No, I don't think they should. I think they've done a fine job, and Pasha seems to be hitting shots. Snax is always good with it, so...
What is this that's going on here with these teams? They keep getting up to 14, and then they just aren't able to close out the map.
Oh, look at that. Snax taking a quick kill on Fur. It does get refragged immediately. Neo with the reply, so this is all good right now for VP. Now they just have to remember, listen, we're a man up. Don't do anything else, just relax and stay safe.
And it seems like Virtus Pro are wholly convinced that this is going to be that A push once again. Coming through here, that pressure early on into connector and the presence in mid. Kind of giving it away. Fallen, though, once again, has managed to sneak his way out. And Taco doing a good job of trying to draw the attention to himself. Might give Fallen a chance to open up, but no, Pasha's there to... He finds a shot with the AWP long range, and that's going to kind of stumble SK here. 2-man advantage now for Virtus Pro. SK no closer to getting out onto the bomb site. And the bomb, it's just out in the middle of nowhere. It's in the open.
It's a good smoke being thrown by Taco. Should allow Cold to try and get up out of the connector, because they need to be a bit closer to each other before they can start to work together. So yeah, that at least allows for this much. That's not bad at all. Molotov going to go through, and Taz will reply just a little bit too quick there. Odd fight going on where both players trying to wallbang each other over by a shadow. And no one really having any amount of success with it. So now it's just a question of someone finding the kill on Taco. There's not much he could do to get out of that one.
14-9. Oh, we've seen some crazy things over the past week, Anders. But Virtus Pro running it back.
I mean...
Virtus Pro running it back after a 12-3 first half, or a 3-12 first half for them. This would be complete and utter insanity versus SK, who are just looking like a beast right now, who have won the last 3 tournaments that they've attended. And so they're just looking to keep that streak alive, SK Gaming. Have to see. Can they finally just figure it out? And we do see teams just get ultra lethal when they just have the pistols, right? Finally going for a half buy. Curious to see if it's going to be one of those times where somebody's just going to hit some insane shots with the Tech 9s.
Can be very tricky on a map like this one, especially if you're not going for sort of a really quick rush.
Yeah.
But maybe they're hoping VP will make a mistake. They're set up pretty much at all the corners. I mean, you look at where Phelps is in the middle. He's hoping someone's going to come and peek here. Virtus Pro, smart play at the moment. No one... Maybe apart from Neo being really exposed. So this is good, fundamental, nothing flashy, but solid Counter-Strike coming out of Virtus Pro. And at this point, that's kind of what I prefer to see. Like, leave the flashy stuff for later in the tournament. You're playing a best of 3 or something, best of 1 games. Don't get too crazy.
It's got to be the tried and true. I like it. A little bit of an opening there, but Taz not going to fall for it, holding a bit more of a passive angle. He will get flashed that time, however, and that's going to force him to fall back. That's exactly what SK wanted. Nice timing with the incendiary to try and stumble them at underpass, but they will eventually push through, and it will go onto the A site where Bialy is ready and waiting. Hits the first headshot on Taco and the follow-up on Fallen. Fur will take him down, but the damage has been done.
Oh. Fur with a close kill. Can they get the bomb plant in? Phelps trying to buy time and force them back here in the window. He's going to get the one and picks up a second one. Amazing play coming out of Fur. And actually, I think He's the one with the AWP turning around for the kill is Phelps. That's just great coordination. The fact that Fur gets the bomb plant down, picks up the AWP and helps out Phelps right when it matters. That's incredibly cool. It's going to give SK the round out of nowhere. Pistols and the A bomb side. Despite the fact that VP read that so well, it's ridiculous.
It's just a quality sometimes when you have those pistols. The Tech 9s, there's so much damage. 15-9. And that release of pressure here for SK Gaming. Now they know at least they've guaranteed overtime. And we'll see if Virtus.pro can keep up the same fight with a horrible buy that they've got right now. 2 M4s, 3 pistols for them versus a full buy on SK's side. Fallen even has his AWP, going back to the tried and true. But that presence in mid right now for Virtus.pro, it looks like SK Gaming, they aren't going to fall for it.
23 kills on Fallen. It's really refreshing to see him back at this level. That's quite enjoyable. Especially some of those, I think, CT side AWP kills are just so hard to deal with.
It looks like they will fall for it.
Oh, run boost right into the middle. Bialy never saw it coming. Just landing right behind him. That's incredible. Obviously, Bialy was turning around so that he didn't get flashed and also he could look into underpass. They will give a bit of a team kill there as Fallen takes down Fur, but 4 versus 3. Still, they have the rifle advantage right now on the VP side. Now would be, oh sorry, on the SK side, now would be a really good time to close out this game.
Yeah. This is it, their moment. They still have the firepower, the advantage. Somehow Pasha eventually dies. Taco's there to find the kill on Snacks as well. And Neo and Taz, the last 2 alive here for Virtus.pro. Neo's recovered that M4, but Fallen so patient at the top of mid. 30 seconds left in the round, and he's still hanging around up there looking for that shot. And now he gets that bomb. So 3 versus 1 here for Taz, who only has a P250 and Kevlar. A bit of a tall order.
Yeah, very much so. And the jump down there, and certainly now with all the running, they will have heard him. He's gone and picked up an AK in a 1-on-3. The bomb is going to be going down as well. He's got a Molotov, and so do they apparently. Without the defuse kit, that one Molotov is just, that's an eternity almost for that to go away. He jumps up, Fallen to take him down. Fallen ending the game at 25 kills as a top fragger. 69 in favor of SK Gaming here, taking out Virtus.pro. Second game of the day for both teams. Quite a good job, quite an impressive performance again from the Brazilian team.
Yeah, no, they look like the favorite team. They just hit the ground running. They never let Virtus.pro get into it. Virtus.pro weren't winning any duels. They were going for that like control kind of map, looking for duels, slowly pacing it out, and yet every time they ran into somebody from SK, they just died instantly. And so SK, they had everything going right for them. 7-0, what, almost 8-0, I think, and then finally Virtus.pro were able to start doing a little bit of damage. But I think they just gave way too much of a lead to SK Gaming.
Very interesting game. We'll see if Virtus.pro can improve, but right now they've got their backs to the wall, so it's going to be tough for sure. We'll go to a quick break, and then we'll be right back with the analysts.
Stay Safeguard post-match breakdown.
Just for a minute, we thought we had a game on hand. However, SK, with a strong start, managed to close things out, joined once again for this post-match breakdown by Freiburg and Sponge. What a lovely luxury I have. Get to pick the brains of some of Counter-Strike's latest and greatest. You okay with that, Chad?
I don't know which one I would fall into of those.
Well, latest.
Probably
I mean,
neither.
Yeah, he's the greatest, you're the latest, so it's okay.
Cool. Yeah, sure.
I liked it with the whole Aussie flag. You're very loud, nice human being, and now we get to steal him for some analysis. And indeed, we do have to analyze this one. We set the scene saying that VP are trying to get themselves on an upswing, and a lot of general consensus suggests they are trying to get back to the the former glory we know VP have had, especially here in ESL 1 Cologne. But it does seem like it's gone pretty bad from the start. Both pistols going the way of SK, Adam. I think is a good place to start. Perhaps a little glimmer at the end. I love that we're seeing Deagle pistol buys now from the likes of Pasha. Is there a thought process behind this? I thought only Nico got away with this.
No, I mean, it's strong. I mean, especially on Mirage, right? CTs are all like 9 out of 10 times playing in CT spawn, so Glock and on that range is very ineffective. So they thought of buying a Deagle. Maybe if they get the one shot there and again CT, it's a much easier round to win, right? Now they got killed instead, having like 4 and 5. They got pretty bad positions. They don't have a lot of map control here. They're sitting like in the ninja corner. Hard round to win, like overall. And great nade usage there by Fallen. He's using his flashes and smokes, forcing the T's out.
It's kind of brutal to watch how this... It looks chaotic. It looks messy almost, Chad. Messy Counter-Strike.
Yeah, well, the one thing, with the way that Adam had just clarified that round is they didn't have any map control, so it was only going to be a matter of time until they got found out. They didn't have any utility to make a mid-round move happen at all. So them not getting any pistol rounds was a bit of a struggle, and I think if you look at the way the game unfolded, we were talking about how we wanted VP to go out and be the ones finding picks. Unfortunately, they started on the T side, and SK were doing that to them. They were picking them off. They were always finding themselves in 4v5 situations. You've got Fur like dry peeking Palace, just on a gun round. Just like, hey, I'm just going to do this. It's like round 6. Why not? Let's just strafe out wide here and grab a frag. And then from there, it kind of spiraled to the point SK's economy was completely under control. And when that's the case, you can't just do set executes anymore, because if they want to fight you, as soon as your smokes come in, they just Molotov you off, they smoke off the choke points. You have a really rough time getting through that. And even if you want to do it late round or early round and they played retake, you don't have a lot of economy to work with yourself. So you're always going to find yourself in a disadvantaged situation. And VP couldn't really get going.
They certainly couldn't. I mean, this is the second time today that VP have gone 1-7 in Germany versus a Brazilian team.
Look, it's not easy to be pulling stats like that from Blue, so he's doing a good job. Yeah,
it's absolutely fantastic, and it certainly isn't Yeezy, so a big shout out to Blue. I like to call him Deep Blue. But you can see over there, look, they got a double ADR, over 100 for Taco, Phelps, and Fur in the double-digit round.
Yeah, I mean, that just shows how dominant SK were in the beginning of the match. I mean, SK, VP, they crawled themselves back, getting 3 rounds in the first half. I mean, it's not something you want, like, for going into the second half, right?
That's some top-tier analysis. No, we do the same, yeah.
I mean,
well, 3 rounds isn't ideal, and it certainly isn't.
And I mean, I don't know how VP felt when they lost the pistol as well. That's kind of like you feel as a player that pretty much the game is over, right?
Do you actually have that mindset? I mean surely that has to be like, come on, boys, win the force buy. Come on.
I mean, in a way, yeah. I mean, in a way, you do, but like, thinking for yourself.
Right. It's not vocalized.
Like, yeah, this is going to be a tough game, right? They did win the force, though. And they actually put out some numbers. So they got 9 rounds against SK, which is a team on form. VP, as we said, is a bit uprising, I guess. Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, the game went kind of like we expected, I guess. I mean, VP, we wanted them to put up maybe a bigger show, especially in the first half, but crawling themselves back a bit in the second half was just, I mean, okay-ish.
Yeah, I think VP's approach, right, the way they started was just going for, like, not slow, but it was almost like a mid-tempo, mid-control. So they were doing the normal underpass stuff, smoking the top mid, molotoving off connector. But when that happens, you're always going to have a CT poking or prodding from connector, window, or cat. And your smokes and flashes have to be absolutely perfect, and you have to make sure that you're either flashing every corner or jiggle peeking all the time. And they just weren't doing that. And then once that happened, it was just a bit disheartening, I think, for them. I think if they had started with a quicker tempo, maybe a quick B split, or maybe they'd done something really fast and flashy, maybe an explosion or a contact play onto a site, they might have had more success. But when you're split up like that, doing a default, and you get picked off, your execute or your plan for the round is already thrown out the window. And if you don't have people in position to trade, what do you do?
Well, what do you do now if you're VP in the grand scheme of things as well. They have gone 0-2. An update from the B stream as well, from at least us here, is that Heroic have fallen. Therefore, it's going to be Heroic and VP currently in that 0 wins, 2 losses category. So keep your eyes on that one. That could I mean, the fact that now Virtus Pro, if they want to see the crowd, if they want to see that VP fan section, which is here a mainstay in the Lancaster, I'm pointing because the door to the arena is there. I'm sorry, this makes no sense for you guys at home. If they want to be in that arena, they have to do what sometimes feels impossible, right? Swiss format, you go 0-2, that's a scary premise for a player.
Has it ever been done? Has anyone ever reverse sweeped in Swiss?
I could have sworn we've talked about it once.
No one did it at the major qualifier because it was Renegades and Dignitas who both found
We did Swiss at IEMs, and I feel like that's happened.
Sure, maybe.
Well, we'll
the stats,
do.
Man. Get the stats.
We'll hit Blue up, and of course, big shout out to him. He is going to be providing all the stuff you see popping up here and there and everywhere.
Making a splash.
Bit much love to him. Yeah, absolutely. Well, we made a meal out of this throw, haven't we? Anyway, let's leave it for now. Myself and the guys are going to be back after the break when we bring you another fantastic game. Cloud9 this time, taking on some people.
Navi.
Navi.